Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Ben the Bull. You are still probably you, and I am the nation of Carthage today. That's right, we are continuing our Hannibal at the Gates playthrough. So, we have conquered all of North Africa. We are, just a reminder, in this playthrough, I am pretty much just trying to stick to the missions. So I could go out of my way and conquer Sardinia or even just push into Iberia right now, but I'm going to try to hold myself back a little bit and instead follow what the missions are telling me, because I want to see what the missions are going to kind of get the AI to do. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to follow them 100%. I probably will go ahead, if I don't get a mission to do it soon, probably will go ahead and grab the rest of Sardinia, really start to put myself at odds with the Romans. I am, however, to the best of my ability, going to leave the Romans alone and try to let them get sufficiently nice and strong. Let's go ahead and see if we can have a big late game rival in the Romans, probably fighting either over Corsica or Sicily. But let's see if we can make that into a big... Let's see if we can make the late game a very large Punic War. After all, there is the new Punic Wars DLC, which we are currently playing with. So, let us go ahead and continue. We could go ahead and hit the finish mission button now that we have taken the Libyan Empire. We got a permanent bonus for that, which off the top of my head I forget what it was, but I am going to wait because I actually want the national commerce income up by 10% for the next 30 years. We will get that as soon as Tripolitania finishes integrating. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hit that unpause button. We have some loyalty issues that we are going to need to deal with. So I have a feeling that these new provinces that we have just captured, they are not going to be loyal to us for very long. So let's go ahead and recruit some light infantry and assign them to the province. In the meantime, I'm actually going to bring my larger armies back home. Let's actually just move this. Actually, no, we'll leave these 25,000 men right where they are. We will take this 20,000 stack and we were going to take it back towards Carthage. We have an unused trade route in our capital province. Will anyone trade anything? Yeah, we could get some extra stone. Stone is great. Go ahead and do that. Stone is good for a couple reasons. If we get a surplus, we can get build cost in the capital minus 10%. Not going to complain about that. Spending less money is, of course, best. And also, we're going to increase our local fort defensiveness. Now our local fort defensiveness is 40%, so that's not too terrible. Plus, we get 5% from years of supply. Man, we do have a lot of food here. I could increase that, I believe it's like by 2.5 per granary that you have, because every granary gives you an extra 200 food supply, so I believe we could even increase this local fort defense even farther. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it. If we have people sieging down Carthage, well, we have other problems to deal with. Because right now, we're pretty strong. Which, I mean, you know, this is a Carthage game. We expected to be pretty strong. The question is, really, just how strong will we be incentivized to be with the missions? I'm also going to go ahead, have I been improving relations here? I'm going to go ahead and improve relations here. Everyone seems to be happy with that, so let's do this. Eventually, I will look to integrate you as well. Let's see. We're still losing loyalty in Sardinia, but everywhere else we're gaining loyalty in our disloyal provinces. Good. Ooh, we have an attempted bribe. In a thinly disguised attempt at bribery, Agbal Budana, the head of the populist faction, made Bostar Gisco a perfectly generous offer on behalf of his faction. Ooh, I don't think I want that. Carthage would owe the populist faction one favor. Nah, we're gonna lose some stability for this, unfortunately, though. Our stability is not great. Oh well, this was... Oh no, that was their aggressive expansion. Our stability is fine. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and assign you to the region. Let's actually take a look at the region map mode. So I already have one army of 10,000 men assigned to the region. Let's go ahead and assign another army of 10,000 men. I'll go ahead and build 10 more skirmishers. Well, 9 more skirmishers, but they'll link with you. And I'm going to march these horsemen. You don't, unfortunately, get some boats. I'm just going to march you back here. You'll get there fast enough. We have a new omen to grab. I think national citizen output is where I'm going to stay. Let's keep increasing our tech. Uh-oh, we have pirates. We always have pirates. Pirates are a standard thing. We, unfortunately, are now losing money. So I'm going to go ahead and dip back down to negative fleet maintenance. Tell you what, our Navy has the potential to cost a lot of money. At fully maintenance, it would cost 10 ducats. We could also think about getting rid of some of these forts. We do have a plethora of them. But having a bunch of forts, especially since we do have some barbarian issues in the North African, or kind of in the Sahara, having a bunch of forts isn't necessarily a bad thing. We've assigned this army to the region. That's going to actually increase our province loyalty pretty nicely. We should also go ahead and take a look at some of the governor policies. I think it is a good idea to stay on the assimilation route. We should also probably do the assimilation route here as well, because currently you're barely assimilating any pops. So I'm going to go ahead and move from encouraged trade to... let's do religious conversion first. Man, that's going to be just so slow. I could build some cities to try to then build some... for instance, in this specific province. Yeah, so what if I did build a city here? Of course, I'll need more gold. So we have lots of migration coming to this province, but most of that migration is coming from actually more the region of Africa. We do have a little bit of migration coming from here. I'm actually going to go ahead and... is there a fort here? Yeah. So there's a fort here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this fort here. It saves us half a ducat of gold per month. I'm going to come back to Carthage, and you know what? Let's see. If I were to build a new building, if I were to build a foundry, it increases my population output by 1%. My population output is currently at 92.5%. I wonder why it's at 92.5 and not a full 100. Is it because of unrest? That would make sense, right? Is there a way I can tell why it's not at 100%? Ooh, it's almost time to build Carthage into a metropolis. We have a bunch of citizens who are, and tribesmen and slaves who are unhappy. Let's look at why they're unhappy. For instance, let's choose someone below 50%, please. Yes, you. So you are not happy because you're not of a Levantine culture group. So we definitely want to keep assimilating our pops. So I think for now I'm just going to build another... Ooh, I don't even have any theaters. So let's go ahead and build a theater in Carthage. We probably don't need this local tax office, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. And so we're actually going to build a second theater. Unfortunately, we have a death. Alright, so let's see. Let's actually take a look at our government tab real quick. Currently, we will have a member of the military faction take over for us. Second in that election is a member of the religious faction. I wouldn't mind pushing maybe some more of the mercantile faction into power. Is there anyone in the mercantile faction that could take over this job. You could. We'll go ahead and hire you for it. You're going to push a little bit of Senate influence towards the mercantile faction. I also could think about ways to discredit you. So I don't want you to be near as high prominence as you are. Well, you're going to be high prominence because you're the co-ruler, but I'm probably going to remove you as Tribune of the People. Instead, let's go with someone else, someone who I want to have a decently high prominence. Maybe someone of the Civic faction. We'll go with Hiram Gisgo. That, of course, is going to make some people mad. Do I have any? Yeah, so I do have a minor character here. Let's see. We'll go ahead and put this man in charge as the Tribune of the Treasury. That's going to kind of hurt my impact, but now I don't have the leader of the populist faction gaining as much prominence. Of course, he still is going to gain a bunch of prominence because he is the co-ruler, and a head of the family, but at least we can make him a little less prominent. Although he does have a base of 76.5 just because of how famous he is, because he's had a pretty decent job for a really long time. Of course, we still have more and more pirates. So yeah, we're going to build, I think, 2 temples when we get enough money. Let's go ahead and build another one. And then, 2 theaters. I'll probably also build a couple temples as well. All these marketplaces, you know what, they're fine. I'll leave them for now. I might get rid of them later. We are continuing. We are just a few months, I think, from completing the mission to absorb Tripolitania into our nation, and then Carthage will absolutely stretch all the way across the coastline of North Africa, and we will have to see what our next mission is. I think I would like... Ooh, look, things are looking up. You're going to lose the depressed trait. I mean, I guess good for you. Ooh, we hit a martial advancement, so we're going to want to save up some money because I definitely am going to want fort defense. I'm going to want all 3 of those, so let's continue to save up some money. We're making about 10 ducats per month. Province loyalty is looking pretty decent at the moment, which does give us an opportunity to convert some pops, albeit extremely slowly. Well, you're going to be done in just a couple years, so we're converting their religion first, which should make it a little bit faster to eventually convert their... So why are we converting the religion so much better in this territory than in this one? Because there are not pops that can be converted in this territory at this time. So are both of these pops... Well, they're both megalithic. Is it because one of them is migrating away and the other one is assimilating, and you can't be migrating, assimilating, and converting at the same time, maybe? We'll see. Numidian kings. Since the establishment of the first Phoenician cities on the African coast hundreds of years ago, the Numidians and other native inhabitants of the colonies have been great allies, supplying many of our valuable exports and making us wealthy through their interest in exotic goods and high-quality imports from around the Mediterranean. We are no longer a collection of small cities, but a great empire reaching across the internal ocean. And while our relationship with the Numidian kings has been useful in the past, some argue that the time has come for the Numidians to accept our government and become part of Carthage. Oh, okay, so we get an event for these Musalami people. Interesting. We could say that they have outlived their usefulness, and we will get claims on their territories, plus they will lose 50 opinion. We could say the kings can surely be guided. We will lose 15 political influence and a bunch of money, more money than we have. but they will get Carthaginian investment. No, that's I definitely don't want that one. And we can say, why change horses midstream? We could just keep the status quo. We could get wrong culture group happiness up by 10% for the next 10 years, plus national commerce income. I mean, that is good, but I think in the end I'm actually going to want to conquer them. So we've gained claims onto all their land. Are they still our tributary? They are. So let's go ahead and just end that. They're going to dislike us. We're going to conquer. Let's change you to religious conversion. And to get more money, it looks like people want us to trade some grain. Yeah, sure. We'll trade away some grain. We're not starving anywhere. We need a new oratory researcher. Let's find someone who we think we might later want to become our king, because you get a lot of prominence for being a researcher for some reason. This man's 63 years old. He's got a really high statesmanship already. So being a researcher may not necessarily help him. Oh, I guess that's that guy that I fired. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put him in charge just because he's pretty decent. And he's going to help us advance a little bit faster. He's decently high prominence. But I doubt he will be competing to become our ruler anytime soon. I could put Carthalo Barca. Let's see what he's doing. He's just the head of a great family. He is content, which means he gets a base negative. But actually, I don't believe he can go over 100 prominence, so he is just where he is. So if I wanted him to be the next ruler, I would now need to make him more popular. So I could put him in charge of like a conquering army or something. Ooh, black news indeed. We have a stability drop. I think that was from one of those cute events that I didn't take. Ooh, alright, so we have the integration of Tripolitania. I think I'm just going to go with this one. We are going to stop importing from them, of course, but which means we now have a bunch more, well, at least one more import route. I don't think I'm going to keep going with wood. I could get more stone. Actually, I have plenty of stone. But I could get even more local fence or local fort defense from having more stone. I mean, that's not bad, but it's also not maybe the direction I want to go. I think I'm going to go with local slave happiness, especially since I'm kind of dealing with some unrest issues because of happiness. So let's go ahead and grab some olives. We're going to grab olives from Tripolitania, but it's going to be fine. We now need a new governor here. And I think I'm just going to go with this guy. He's pretty old. This will help his statesmanship a little bit. It's going to make him a little bit more prominent, but... And yeah, now, look at Carthage grow, and soon enough after this, I'm sure we have a truce, right? No, we actually don't have a truce, so I could go ahead and declare war on them right away. I might just do that. Let's grab this navy, come in, pick up this army, and we'll get ready to declare war on our longtime allies. Let's use these fast horsemen to try to take down these barbarians. I'm actually a little worried about that fight, so I'm going to move these 20,000 men this direction as well. I should probably think about building a fort in the city of Visa. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And just hope the barbarians don't... So we do have a better general. Let's take a look. Are you... You're a friend of a governor. Are you the... Yeah, alright, so... The reason that he is going to be the next leader of our people is because he's decently prominent, but he's also kind of popular. No, his popularity... So the way I see it, basically, and I could have this math wrong, but the way I see it, let's look up at the top with the civic faction, secession support. So we are about 9 popularity. So I'm thinking that because his popularity is around 9, it's actually 9.7, half of that is 4.89. So, and then half, he is 100% prominent, and then half of that is, he has 100 prominence, and so half of that is 50%. So, the civic faction, they have a couple reasons why they would support him. They have his popularity, his prominence, and his family prestige. So, that gives them 64%, give or take a little bit. And then we have, but then he is not a member of the civic faction, so that is a minus 50% chance to support him. So then that gives us around a 14.89% chance, and then that is and then that is reduced by 0.63 because he has bad health, although his health isn't actually that bad, giving the civic faction a 13.5% chance to support him. The military faction, though, that's a different story because they don't get that negative modifier for him not being a member. Okay, alright, I'm finally figuring this out. So sorry it's taken me so long, but I think I finally understand why they will vote for him over someone else, and specifically you. I do wish it broke it down, and I wish I could see, like, why the same breakdown for the other 2 candidates. Although, if you really think about it, we can still get it. So, for instance, they're going to have anyone outside of the civic faction is going to have a minus 50% base chance to vote for this guy, Carthalo, Barca. But then they will have a 50% chance to vote for him because of his high prominence. So those basically wipe each other out. So he's probably going to get most of the civic faction votes. And then so say the 31 votes that are coming from the... Sorry, he will get most of the mercantile faction votes, but then the 31 votes that are coming from the civic faction, he is automatically going to not receive, or he gets a 50% negative modifier for that, because of he's not a member of the civic faction. That will be counteracted by his prominence score. He will get about whatever half of 45% is. So what is that, a 22% chance? So he's going to get some votes outside of his party, but just because his party is so weak, he's not actually going to get a ton of votes. Okay. Sorry, that was a lot of word vomit. I'm like making sense of it, but I think I'm understanding the way... Alright. Well, I said I thought I was understanding it, but now why does this person... Why is their bad health reduces support by that to 0.32? Alright, well, you know what? I understand here, I think. But now, because of all these... Alright, so, never mind. I really... I'm still having I'm still having a hard time figuring out this bad health at 44.8, then reduces support by that to 0.32. So his bad health reduces support by less than... Oh well, I'm sure the math checks out. I just don't really understand where they're getting their numbers from. Ah well, either way, if I want to increase my chances for the mercantile faction to come back into power, I should increase the seats in the mercantile faction. I think I might go ahead and do that. As well as... I could, of course, get some more laws, although all these laws I don't see any that help the mercantile faction. They all seem to help either the civic, religious, or populist factions. Tell me how that's fair. Oh, this one helps the mercantile faction, the anti-piracy edict. Although, I don't really actually want to go there because I'm really liking that import value. Plus 25%. Alright, well, I'm just going to keep going the way I'm going at the moment then. Let's see. Will this army win this fight? It actually does predict that I'm going to win, probably because of my good general. Yeah, he gets a significant buff because he's a really good general. Also, all these horsemen... Let's go ahead and stack wipe them, shall we? I think we're actually going to beat their army there, allowing us to be the defender. Ooh, we do. And so we're going to be the defender, and that will stack wipe them. Perfect. We'll gain some territory. I am going to build a fortress here just to keep them from raiding this area too much. It'll keep the civilization value high. Alright, I moved these 30 ships over here for a reason. Let's go ahead and load you onto these boats. And move you back towards the region of Africa, because we are going to capture all of these. We're going to, unfortunately, declare war on the Musalami relatively soon. Oh, do you know what I need to do? Oh, I need to keep... Oh, man. So I need the entire area, so it looks like I need just one more... I just need to colonize these two provinces. Yeah, so it looks like just like I need to colonize these two provinces before I'm able to complete the mission. Let's go ahead and just move some pops around then. We have some money. That allows me to hit the colonize button there. And then I don't think I have enough money to do this. Hit the colonize button there. Put a new governor in charge. I guess I'm going to go with you. You're a member of the civic faction. This is going to increase your prominence. And actually, you're a relatively young member of the civic faction. So yeah, let's go ahead and increase your prominence. Honestly, I should probably think about making you a researcher. Or, I keep saying the civic faction. I mean the mercantile faction. But yeah, let's keep trying to... as a governor, you should increase your prominence, which will hopefully allow you to take over relatively soon. I need... Alright, there we go. I have now settled that entire province, and I can hit the Emporium of Tripoli. Boom. That's commerce rate up for the next 30 years by 10%. Perfect. And now we are going to finish the mission, complete the mission. Yes, we have. Alright, so now we have another chance. Alright, so I like where that mission took us. We conquered all of North Africa, so Carthage is looking pretty strong indeed. Although, honestly, not as strong as one might think, because take a look at that. We have a lot of pops who are not of our religion, and we have a lot of pops who are not of our culture, so we need to try to rectify that, honestly, sooner rather than later. We're working on it, of course. But we have a new option for a mission, so let's check out the 3 of these. Ooh, and I already know which one I'm kind of leaning towards, but let's read them, see what's happening. So we could do the end to Sicilian warfare. Sicily has long been a battleground between different Greek factions, particularly the people of Syracuse and ourselves. It has been a drain on our resources and pushed us to the brink of destruction in the past, but most recently under the warmonger Agathocles, it is time to put an end to these petty wars and finally annex the island once and for all. So we could try to annex all of Sicily. That's an admirable goal. I'm a big fan of the island of Sicily. I did a very tall playthrough on Sicily. You should definitely check it out, even though it was in the last patch of the game. Basically, it's going to give us missions that will help us take all of Sicily. Well, we could do that, of course. A matter of Africa. Our fortunes await in foreign lands. The Africa region has been considered part of the borders, yet much of it remains beyond our control. Make sure that it is brought under our influence. So this mission will be considered complete when the entire region of Africa is under Carthaginian influence. Well, honestly, that one's going to be really easy to do, because I'm very soon going to declare war. As soon as this army gets in range, I'm going to declare war and do that. So honestly, I might snag this mission first, just because maybe it will give me some bonuses to grabbing the territory that I'm already planning on grabbing anyway. Or we can do the Iberian struggle. The rich lands of Iberia are waiting for a mighty trade empire to take control of their many silver mines. The many Phoenician colonies there give us an entry point we should make use of when we give our soldiers the order to expand into this wild region. This mission will be considered complete when we have taken control of the regions of Contestania and Baetica. So those are two big regions. Man. Oops. Well. Whoops. I was actually planning on going with the African region, or mission, and then, because I was going to officially finish that when I took command of the region, and I was just going to hit finish whether it was ready or not, but I kind of accidentally clicked a button, and now we're doing the Iberian struggle, which is fine, because it was the one that I was, before I saw how easy that African mission set was going to be, it was the one I was planning on doing. So let's take a look at some of the potential missions in here. So it looks like right away I might as well just hit these buttons, and it will give me some free claims. I'm all for free claims. Ooh, the Belarus. Do I want to integrate the Balearic Islands? You know what? I might as well, right? So I think the very first one I'm going to do is hit this button. If I can. Why can't I? Oh, it said this task is already working. I'll go ahead, if I can hit all of these at once, I'll go ahead and hit all of them. In the meantime, let's go ahead and improve opinion. Let's make sure that everyone likes that. Yeah, of course everyone likes that. And with the new mission and with the completion of our old mission set, I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for the day. I am slowly figuring out this whole Republic thing. I'm really enjoying playing as a Republic. I do think it's probably one of the more powerful ways to play, having all these rulers. I think you can probably influence your ruler a lot more so than you can in any other government type, and I think that that is inherently good. I just have to figure it out a little bit more, but I'm working through it. I'm getting through this together. Thank you for bearing with me. I am having a good time. I hope you're enjoying watching, and I will definitely see you on the next one.